3.
Hi there. I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist. Born male, became female. Well, we have a great show. 2 great shows. 2-parter here. We are going to interview the famous legendary actress Louise Shaffer, late of Ryan's Hope, and all sorts of wonderful shows. Edge of Night. In fact, when she was a baby, she did Run for Your Life with Ben Gazzara. How cool is this? And, of course, the famous Tom Lisanti, whom you see on our show all the time. He's going to tell us all about Ryan's Hope. The 50th anniversary of the soap opera Ryan's Hope is coming up soon. Ryan's Hope, sadly, is no longer on the air. It isn't, is it?
No. It's on YouTube.
But it's on YouTube, and you may have seen Eileen Kristen, another star of Ryan's Hope, on this show before this. And this time we will talk about Ryan's Hope. And part 2 of this show, which you will see next time you watch this show, will be all about Louise Shaffer's wonderful, amazing career. Louise Shaffer has been to the Yale School of Drama, yes, very much like Meryl Streep, like many others who are lucky enough to go, and has done all sorts of amazing things, as you'll find out on part 2. This is part 1, the story of Ryan's Hope. Talk to us.
Well, Ryan's Hope premiered on July 7th, 1975, so it's coming up to its 50th anniversary. Louise was not part of the original cast. She came on in 1977 or 78 as Rae Woodward. She was the wife of a media mogul, Bill Woodward, who gets injured in a plane crash and is sent to Riverside Hospital, where Bill and Rae get entangled with the Ryan family, who own the bar across the street from the hospital, and relatives and friends work as doctors and nurses there. Rae was a bit of a shady character, and she began an affair with Dr. Roger Coleridge while her husband was laying in bed convalescing. And just when Bill found out that Rae was having an affair, he wanted to change his will, but died, leaving Rae a very rich widow and the head of the media company.
I forgot about the will thing.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had his detective.
I mean, a girl has needs. And he was in the hospital in bed. Yeah. Actually, she, I think, had a kind of a history of that. Claire and I talked about, he was much older than she was. And periodically it was a way of kind of, in her mind, in my mind as Rae, of maintaining the marriage,
Right. And Wesley Addy played him, right?
Yeah,
yes,
Wes. Yeah.
He went on to Loving. I think he had a long time in Loving.
Yeah.
And then Rae shifted her focus from that rogue Roger Coleridge to Frank Ryan, who was who was a local politician, the city council, and before Bill died, he thought Frank would make a good senator. And after he died, Rae picked up the baton and helped Frank, and also wanted Frank, and stole him from his girlfriend Jill Coleridge, who was actually his mistress when he was married to Delia Reed. So it was very into all the interrelationships kept the show going for a long time.
Did you make him a senator finally?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yes, he became a senator, and they moved.
And then I took it away from him.
Right.
And then I framed him for something he hadn't done that I did.
Yes, he made him a senator. You got him away from his girlfriend, Jill, who wound up pregnant, who thought the father was her lover, Dr. Seneca Bolak, but was actually the kid turned out to be
Seneca.
Yeah.
Whose name's Seneca?
He was Frank's kid.
French Canadian.
Yes,
okay.
French Canadian. Yeah. Yes. And then what else did you do? Well, then you kept Rae kept Frank away from the kid because she thought it might hurt his political career, and they kept it silent that he was the actual father. And then Jill took the kid out to the Coleridge beach house, and she took a stroll on the beach, leaving the kid in the house, and the house blew up, and the kid
Oh
blew
my
up.
God.
Oh yeah. Paul and Claire did that.
Yeah, they blew up this little boy, Edmund Bolak, I think his name. Yes. And then Frank and Jill wound up back together, and hell hath no fury like a Woodward scorned. And Rae made sure that Frank got kicked out of the Senate by framing him for an influence scheme where he supposedly took money as favors.
Did he go to jail or just get kicked out?
No, he got kicked out of the Senate, and then it looked like Rae was going to get away with it until her 17-year-old daughter, Kimberly Harris, showed up on her doorstep,
Whom you didn't know you had.
No, she knew she had it.
I knew I had.
We didn't. The audience didn't know.
I left her with Mom.
Yeah.
Because I really wasn't the maternal type.
I guess.
Yeah.
Cuts into your having affairs with senators.
Yes, and actually stealing Wes Addy away from his wife.
That takes
Right,
time.
the
You can't be a
secretary,
mother
yeah.
and steal husbands,
Right.
you know?
Rae was the
no.
secretary. Rae was his secretary.
Ray was his secretary. Yes, indeed.
I mean, get your priorities straight here.
Well, sleeping your way to the top. It's a time-honored tradition.
Well, I'm clawing my way to the middle. But, no.
Oh, God, darling.
But anyway, is he still with us?
Yes.
Yes, Danny U. Kelly is still, yeah. I reached out to him to interview for the book. He wrote me a nice note saying he was burned in the past by interviews, but he would give me a statement to use, which I
He should
included.
trust you. You're a great
Oh, yeah.
interviewer.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yes.
really should
Yeah.
trust you.
And so he did. He said, he had a wonderful time there and stuff.
Is he
and
still working?
I don't know. I actually don't know. And everyone seemed to like him. Like people said he was a
He's really cute.
jokester. Yeah, a lot of people feel he was probably one of the best Franks.
He really was.
Yeah.
He was. He had that twinkle in the eye and the mischief and the wickedness, the little. He's a good boy, but working at being a good boy.
Yes.
It didn't come easy, and it was just charming. There was a charm to him.
Yeah, but Frank was a bit pompous and arrogant and self-centered.
Is that this one, the cute one?
With Danny.
I personally, as a kid, as a teenager watching, did not like Frank nor Jill.
Well,
which was,
good.
Did you like Rae?
Yes, I rooted for Rae.
And you love Delia. Come on.
Oh yes, and I love Delia. So yes, I kind of rooted for and I love Joe Novak, and I kind of rooted for the
Outsiders.
yeah, the Outsiders. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because for my interviewing people from the book, the core cast seemed to be the insiders, the ones who started on the show. And as the show went on and new people came in, I heard from my interviews that it was hard to really crack that nut to get involved, to become part of that. And Louise, I know you have your own. You never did.
I think. To be really honest, Paul and Claire, who were very, very talented, and God bless them, had been in charge. Okay. They had been the producers of the show. They'd owned the show. They sold it to ABC, and they continued to head write it.
Right.
But they no longer had the power and the control. And I think the core cast, the Coleridges and Earl Hyman and the Reeds and the Ryans, were kind of their babies.
Right.
They cast them. Mm-hmm. They had total control of the show when that was going on.
Right.
Then they lost that control, and they had to start sharing decision making with the network, and there was a lot of resentment, I think, that went on, and they had been super close to the original cast. They had interacted with them a lot, and now they weren't doing that as much with the new people coming in. So there was a real kind of schism in that show. And there were actors that I felt got a raw deal. Let me just say that. Because for no reason except that they were not the organic, original idea.
And so they were fired.
Yeah.
And I, as a teenager, a freshman in college, started watching the show in 1980, just after Claire and Paul gave up control of the show to ABC, and they started to infuse it with younger characters.
Right.
And even from if you compare the promotion for the show, like from a 1978, where the ABC promotion, Love in the Afternoon.
Sure, I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Was about the Ryan family. All of a sudden in 1980, 81, the promotion was New York City. It's glamorous, and there's...
I also remember that.
and there's champagne, bottle corks are popping, and Delia
Yeah,
and
but if
Jill
you
and Ray
remember,
in
there
glamorous
were all
clothes.
these ads like, I love New York, and
Right.
you'd see Evita
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
it
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, New York started to be the focal point. And, on ABC, General Hospital had first it was Scotty and Laura, was very popular, and ABC wanted Ryan's Hope to put a teenager in, which how Kimberly came on. And you can't have a teenager girl by herself with nobody around, so they brought in Michael Corbett as Michael Pavel, who was a street kid from Brooklyn whose father was rubbed out by the mob, Tiso Novotny, and he had a nephew named Joe Novak who was in love with Siobhan Ryan, and so Michael was connected that way. And what I think happened was the popularity of Kimberly, played by Kelly Maroney, and Michael, played by Michael Corbett, took the show by surprise, and their shenanigans, because they weren't nice. Michael and Kim were schemers, and the wool they pulled over the eyes of Ray, and Kimberly actually wound up marrying the much older Seneca Bolak. And as a teenager, we would just laugh how they just
Yes.
they made fools out of Seneca and Ray.
Seneca and Ray were these two older people who were being completely bamboozled by these kids. Yeah.
And the college kids, I was in college, and we all loved it. And
Kelly and Michael had a huge kind of chemistry.
Yes.
They were really a root for couple, as we used to.
Right.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, when the show started, Kate Mulgrew was Mary Ryan, and she was sort of like the face of the show, and she was super popular, but she never made the crossover to the mainstream media. Kelly and Michael were on the cover of Us magazine. They were on the cover of People magazine, and they were becoming really, really popular. And that's where I think you said the push-pull between, well, they weren't supposed to be so popular. We have these Ryans and these Coleridges that are not getting as much airtime.
But the Luke and Laura thing set a prototype
Yes,
for it,
exactly.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
And Luke raped Laura, and then they got married.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very strange, but okay.
And even when I interviewed both Michael and
Chemistry.
Kelly,
Yeah.
Michael said he and Kelly went on a promotional tour with Luke and Laura and other ABC people, and it was fantastic. He comes back, and he's called by Ellen Barrett, the producer, into the office and said, "Honey, we're going to be killing you off."
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Which it was nobody can understand to this day, and I can't.
yeah, really.
What was the reason?
you kill the goose that lays the
You
golden egg.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. Wait, Kelly and I we did those houseboat scenes
Oh,
where
yes.
we
The
killed...
Midnight Murder.
The Midnight Murder where we killed him. And we were still, the two of us, like, in between doing the scenes, we're like, I don't understand what the hell we're
Yeah,
doing.
what is
Why are
going
we
on?
doing this? Look at him. He's gorgeous. Why? It was just...
Yes, Ryan's Hope really shot itself in the foot by killing off, and nobody. I interviewed so many
I can
people.
hear the screams from people throughout the nation seeing this happen, going, no, what?
There was an uproar, and people supposedly were writing in saying, "Bring him back as his twin."
Right,
Yeah,
his
yeah,
cousin,
and they just
didn't die after all, come on.
Why did they do this?
My hypothesis in the book is CBS was tired of getting beat in the ratings, and they decided at 12:30 CBS had Search for Tomorrow up against Ryan's Hope, and they were sort of running neck and neck until the Michael Kim thing,
Yes.
and Ryan's Hope started to really beat it in the
Right.
ratings. And I think I know what they did. They decided to move Search for Tomorrow out of 12:30, push up the running time of Young and the Restless from 12:30 to 1:30, and move Search for Tomorrow between As the World Turns and Guiding Light. So now Ryan's Hope was going up against The Young and the Restless, which was a stronger show in the ratings.
It was. Yeah.
I think ABC wanted Ryan Soap to come up with a big story to counteract all the publicity Young and the Restless was getting.
Right.
Again, this is just my guess. And they came up with the Midnight Murder. Let's
Which
kill off
would have
Michael.
made headlines throughout the
and
country.
You know what? It was short. It was short-term gains. They did. They really beat Young and the Restless in the ratings for weeks. But once everyone realized he was really dead, and then it started to shift. And the Ryan Soap ratings started to go.
Crazy.
I think I have a slightly different take on
Sure.
it.
I mean, that was my guess.
I think you're right. I think there was pressure to come up with something really big.
Right.
But I also think Paul and Claire were a unique kind of talent for daytime.
Right.
Because daytime of necessity is formulaic. It's working so fast. You're doing in one day what
You're making a movie a day, basically.
Yeah, prime time is doing in a week. And Paul and Claire were people that invested emotionally in the stories in a way that I'm not sure other writers did.
Well, they invented the show, so that
They
it was
created,
their baby.
yeah, it was really, it was an emotional thing with them in a way that I don't think it always was with other head writers that I ran into during my career. And I think their love was the Ryans, the Coleridges, and the Reeds. Right. And this thing was taking over, and it was
So it was
not
basically
their
an
heart.
emotional decision, not...
I think it was a strategic decision in that they had to come up with something.
Right.
And then I think on a gut level, as we all live on our gut, I think, the perfect thing to come up with. Let's get rid of these people we don't really want anyway.
Right.
I think that's how
But-
it worked.
You know, it was during the
self-destructive.
it was during the writer's strike too. So
And the writer's strike.
yeah,
The writer's
strike.
strike.
What
was-
did you do during the writer's strike?
Wait, we did the show,
They did the show.
and the writers' strike really took off with the Kim, Rae,
Yes, right. Yeah,
Michael
exactly.
story. They got the highest ratings
Right.
the show had
We
ever
ever got.
gotten was during that strike, and so I think that there were a lot of emotional reasons as well as the kind of realpolitik reason of.
And also going on at the same time was two other stories that the fans who started in 1975 did not like, but new people like me loved. You had Roscoe Bourne coming in as the second Joe Novak, who was just sexy and charming, and he's romancing Siobhan Ryan, and he's telling everybody he's not in the mob, and he still is, and he steals the Crystal Palace away from Delia. He sets up Jack Finelli, who killed his uncle. And then you have the two sisters, Faith and Jill, who were very close and always sort of tag teaming on Delia, now fighting each other over Frank. And because
I'll join the fight. He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them didn't like the fact that they had Faith and Jill at each other's throats, which I loved because they were well. Nancy Addison played Jill. Faith Morris, Karen Morris Gowdy played Faith, and they were just great at those scenes. And you had poor Maeve and Johnny don't know where to turn.
Maeve always got the short end of the stick.
So
She was like Mater Dolorosa. She had a terrible time.
And then plus Rosaleo came in as Rose Pierce, who's a love interest for the recently widowed Jack. And I don't think it was exactly what you said. Claire and Paul would have wanted. All these things were going on that weren't part of like what they envisioned what was going to happen.
You would think that having come up with a very successful show, the people who bought that show would say, let's keep it the way it is because this is so successful. Instead of, you know what, I think we should try this or that. And they just ruined it,
Well, I think that what we kept hearing, which is exactly sort of like, head of studio speak for we're going to ruin the show. What we kept hearing was we cherish and adore this little jewel but it's not getting the great ratings.
Right.
And so we, with great sensitivity and great respect for what has already been built and cherishing every moment of what you have already, we are going to expand on it in a way that will bring in the audience that we better have, because otherwise if we don't have it, we are not getting the money we want to get. Well,
And they killed it by accident.
yeah. But I mean,
Oh, yes, let's show the book.
But that was the idea.
By Tom Lisanti.
And it is fabulous.
There you go. And straight from Rae's mouth. How great is this?
Oh, everybody that was on the show that I know that has read that book is just loves it.
And now, how does one get this?
It's available still through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookseller online. I actually saw it physically in a few Barnes & Nobles here in New York City. I haven't seen it recently.
No, but I know you can order it at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go up to the counter
Or the
and
publisher.
order it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Kensington Books is the publisher.
I often order books at Barnes & Noble. I go there and I say, I want it, and a few days later, I have it.
It's a factual book that I don't know how you've done it. It reads like the best
But
narrative.
he does this a lot. He invented this genre.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
I ripped off as a Chamber Weekly.
It's like
is
the
brilliant.
most compelling novel you could possibly
And he
want to
doesn't
read.
trash
Thank you.
the actors. He doesn't.
No.
He's
Not
very
a gut-
kind and genuinely inquisitive. Not. So tell us.
Not
know.
a gotcha question.
Exactly.
in the
Exactly.
whole
And
thing.
not a gotcha question.
In the whole thing.
Well, Tracy Lane, who played Prue Shepard, might not like it.
Well, I think Frank should do an interview with you.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. If
I-
you can get Danny.
Yes.
Oh,
Because, really, no gotcha questions, you know?
no.
Oh, dear. Okay, we only have 6 minutes left. Depressing. What do we talk about? Any chance that we'll ever come back? Obviously not,
No,
really.
probably. No,
Why am I
no,
asking this?
no.
I mean, Eileen wound up on General Hospital, reprising a role as Delia, where she was supposed to be now. We were supposed to believe at 16 she had a baby, and she was the mother of the Maura West character on. I don't know her name on General Hospital. I never really watched it, and so they brought in Eileen to play Delia for a couple of episodes. Eileen rightfully thinks that should have been Roxy from One Life to Live, but they were involved in that.
I love the
lawsuit.
Roxy
Yeah, they
character.
were involved in that lawsuit with
Yeah.
Prospect Park. They were doing that soap in
yeah.
Connecticut and stuff. So ABC owned the rights to Ryan's soap, so that's why they made her Delia. Ryan's soap. We talked about changing. It did. And Claire Labine in 1982 said ABC was actually right. They needed a new family. They brought in the Kirklands. They were rich. I defend the Kirklands in my book. Some of the actors started calling the show Kirkland's Hope.
Yep.
Because they thought they were taking over, but they really weren't. And the Ryans were intermingled in there. Pat Ryan was having a romance with.
Where would
Amanda
soap
Kirkland.
operas be without romance?
Right.
I mean, everyone's having an affair with everyone.
Right.
Secret children come out of the woodwork that nobody knew about. Secret twins.
Right.
Evil twins. They have to be
Yeah,
evil
yeah.
twins.
Ray's
Who
ex-lover was Hollis Kirkland, who turned out to be the biological father
Father
of
of
Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Oh, Lord.
So it was-
Or, of course, that famous trope where a woman's lover is lost in a plane over South America. She marries someone else and one day answers the door. You're back.
Yes.
What?
And Irene Dunn and Cary Grant did it so
Yes.
well a million years before.
And poor Marilyn was going to do it, but we know what happened there.
So Louise survived everything until Joe Hardy showed up
Oh,
in
God.
1983. He was brought in as a new executive producer, and ABC wanted. They were like, "All right, we tried this, we tried that. Now we're doing it our way." And
What happened?
he changed everything from the lights to the sets to the. Claire and Paul did not get along with Joe Hardy, and they wound up fired. And they
Oh,
brought
my
in
God.
Ted
He
Buckensmith.
fired the creators.
Right, they fired the creators.
And I won an Emmy, and 6 months later he fired me.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. It had not yet come back from the engraver when he fired me. And I found out from your book why. I never understood it. And I also found out from your book that other people he fired got great big huge send-offs.
Oh.
And I just got sent to Seattle. It was sort of like one day I wasn't on the show and somebody said, "Where's Rae?" And somebody else said, "Oh, I think she's in Seattle."
Yeah, but
and
that's
that
good
was
in
the end
case
of
they
it.
want you back.
And he didn't like me, according to
to-
Tamara,
Right.
because I asked too many questions.
Oh, you're a thinking actress, a troublemaker, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I found that out from this book.
Well, even Malcolm said the same thing, that he knew he didn't question Joe Hardy because he knew that Joe didn't like to be questioned.
Who is this man? God? I mean, what is this?
I interviewed him for the book, and he recently
You
passed
don't want
away.
me to say who he was. Really, you don't.
Clearly not God. More in the opposite direction.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so Joe, when I interviewed Joe, he said he was really just following the orders of ABC. They wanted,
That's the biggest excuse
they
going
wanted,
on.
yeah. And they needed to make room for all these young teenagers that they were going to infuse into the show.
Yeah.
And Louise was let go, and Karen Morris Gowdy as Faith was let go. But Faith got a big episode where she was able to tell off her sister, tell off her brother, tell off Frank, where you kind of just disappeared
Went
into
to
the night.
Yeah, but at least you
And
didn't
I was
die.
told that they didn't. My agent actually told me that he wanted to bring on Gloria DeHaven
Oh, yes.
and do a story with a kind of mother-daughter thing with Nancy and Gloria
Right.
DeHaven and Callie Timmons.
Timmons, yeah.
And
We only have 1 minute and 42 seconds.
the phrase I heard was, "We don't have space for another over-the-hill diva."
Oh, please. Okay, well, that was the dirt on Ryan's Hope. My guests have been the beautiful and hyper-talented Louise Shaffer, who was Rae on Ryan's Hope and has been on many other daytime shows and nighttime shows and a lot of shows. And she's also a writer. She's written for the screen, and she has written 2 novels, and soon she will be back on a few months from now to tell us about her newest book. My other guest is the brilliant Tom Lisanti, who invented the genre of writing about soap operas, about how films are made. He's done it in a way no one ever thought to do it before, and he is wildly successful. And you can buy the book Ryan's Hope in many places, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. If they don't have it, ask for it. They will order it for you. And I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. Even if no one else loves you, I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye. We still have 20 seconds left. That's nice.
No, we do.
I was so
Anybody
frantic.
want to dance?
Yeah, really. No, I know. Let's all go to Seattle.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
But I mean, okay, that's it. That one's over. So, I don't usually do it. Okay. Are you leaving while we do it?
Yeah, since there's only one camera, I don't
Okay.
really have to
Okay.
do a lot.
And he